Hey guys, good morning. So imagine crawling across the broken desert under the direct heat of the sun for water. The California drought has now entered its fourth year and is drier than ever. Having read several news articles, I have become more informed myself at the understanding of what has led to California's drought and what it's meant for us. Today I will cover the leading causes of California's drought, secondly, why it's important and what's being done about it. To start off, I will discuss what has led to California's drought. California's drought shouldn't be a surprise. California has a Mediterranean climate. This means that its coastline is surrounded by a current of cold water. It lies between 30 to 40 degrees north and south latitude. It is on the west side of a large mountain range that prevents the cold from Canada coming down on us. The dry summer climate arises from the seasonal change in position of the semi-permanent subtropical high-pressure systems, which are centered over the tropical deserts roughly over the tropics of Capricorn and Cancer. We are constantly hit by the westerlies that provide a constant stream of dry, warm air to us, such as the Santa Ana winds. As the subtropical high retreats towards the equator during the winter, maritime air masses and cyclonical storms develop around the polar front and make their way into our climate, bringing rain. However, California has been extremely dry recently and has become drier over the decades. For the past 4 years, there has been a high-pressure ridge, a ridiculously silent ridge that has prevented Pacific rains to reach California. Off the coast of California lies a warm anomaly, aka the blob, which is an area of abnormal warmer water which has sent warm air into California, as a result increasing transpiration and drying the land. Now that I have discussed what is causing the drought in the first place, I would like to discuss why the drought is important. The California drought is threatening our economy. California is USA's largest asset. As you may know, California produces over half of the nation's fruits and vegetables, houses the largest population in the nation's over 38 million people, and leads in almost all industries such as manufacturing sector, fishing industry, mining, service, movie, tech, real estate industry as well. If California were a country, it would rank 7th in the world, surpassing Russia, Italy, and just recently Brazil. However, its economy is being threatened as 564,000 acres are estimated to be left unplanted this year due to the drought, a 33% increase over 2014 that will result in the loss of approximately 18,600 full-time, part-time seasonal jobs, as well as the loss of 2.7 billion. California's drought is affecting our livelihoods. The lack of water will result in food price increases due to losses in acres of agriculture and increased pricing of water for farmers, from their chicken and beef, everyday fruits, vegetables, and everything in between. You will see a lot more days where we had heat waves and poor air quality due to increase in wildfires. Now that I have discussed what is causing the drought and why it's important, I will now go on to what is being done about it. California needs to change. Our water usage is unsustainable. The everyday Californian uses up to an average of 181 gallons a day. That's disaster amounts to 38 billion a day by California alone. By the end of the year, over 13.87 trillion gallons of water will be at waste. That is the worth of Lake Tahoe, like the size in like about 3 years. Several plans to combat this drought have taken place, such as urging Californians to reduce water usage by up to 20%, leaving lawns to die out, fines for water on days and times that are suggested by the government, having residents plant more plants and crops, which other plans that may be used to help save California in the future include recycling, water plants, drip irrigation, and desalination plants. Anticipating the end, in conclusion, I hope I have realized how significant the drought in California is. The drought in California is to us a nation. In this speech, I have covered how the drought came to be, why it is important, and what is being done about it. You have now seen how this 4-year-long drought in California is connected to us and why it's only getting drier. Therefore, every time you use water or eat something, just make sure you are educated about the overall water used to create and produce what you are consuming or using. There's a lot more to California's drought and a lot more droughts happening outside of California that is affecting millions every day, and the least we can do is at least watch our water usage. Thank you.
All right, Frank, what did you think?
The speech was really good. I could easily identify the topic, and I also identified the thesis statement. It was pretty solid on that part in the introduction, and I liked how you were able to choose a topic where we could all relate to, that we all could know what's happening, because we all know we're in a drought, but we don't really know all the statistics behind it. But what I think you should improve on your speech is probably you tended to look at your notes a lot more than you looked at your audience, and once it came to the passion of the topic, I could tell you weren't as it was kind of monotone a little bit. I feel like if you gave more emotions to it, it will really capture more of it will really capture our attention even more. And especially for the visual image, the visual images, you know how he said how each year the water is getting lower and lower. It would be really cool if we had a visual image of a plot diagram where it shows specifically year to year of how it's getting worse and worse. But other than that, it was pretty solid. I learned a lot. I learned a lot of statistics on how we're in the drought and what we have to do to fix it.
Okay. There are some really good things in the speech, and then there's some things that just I'm befuddled by, because it's, there are things that you can fix, and they need to be taken care of in the future. Let's start with the good stuff. The visualization at the beginning is okay. You have a very clear statement of what your purpose is. I think you got an excellent justification. Look, we're in the middle of this situation, and so everybody should be interested in it. And you've got a basic layout of the structure. It's a two-part structure that you're setting up for us. Organizationally, that's easy to follow also, and I thought you had very nice transitions between the points. So the structural stuff is pretty solid. I thought in that first section, when you're describing why we have the weather patterns that we had, that you had a good set of information there. There's a lot of information, are good explanations, and they are hard to follow because I'm having to try and visualize everything that you're describing, and I'm wondering, have you never seen a weathercast on the news? Where, I mean, they put up incredibly sophisticated visual images that explain a lot of the things that you're talking about concerning, you know, the air coming from Canada, the dead spot out in the ocean, the mountains, you know, surrounding the area, the cold air moving on the ocean. I'm going, and I get none of that here. I have to figure all that kind of stuff out in my head, and it just seems like there's an opportunity that's lost. You've got this whole 2-minute section where you explain the complicated climate of Southern California, and it seems to me like half of what you had there could have been explained with one visual that would have made it easy for everybody to understand almost immediately what you were talking about. So there's a missed opportunity there. I'm going to agree with Frank about some of the other images that just jump out, the reservoir levels that have changed over a period of time. That's an easy thing to find visuals of and demonstrate that. The change in water use and where it comes from, and what part is affected by California consumers. Do we consume more water than other places? You had an average about 183 gallons a day or something like that. And I'm going, okay, so how does that make us compare to other places in the world or other places in the country? I think you are missing some easy opportunities there for visual materials in the speech. Instead, we get an image of the cracked ground and the cute joke at the end, which I liked, but which you undersell, because your delivery is so, I'm sorry, dry. I don't want to say it's boring, but it just sounds like you're going through the motions. You've got the subject, you've got the information. It doesn't sound like you've practiced enough. I could hear sometimes when you're struggling to say the words out correctly because you haven't quite used them a whole bunch, and you're working it out right in front of us, and that suggests that you didn't get it prepared early enough for you to practice, and that's one of the reasons that you're so dependent on the notes. So that's something that you got to fix. So there's a lot of good stuff in the speech, but there are some things that are just kind of frustrating about the presentation that you ought to be able to fix easily. All right, thank you.